Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 25th of May to the 1st of June. On Saturday early in the morning we experienced a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is wisdom, old wisdom. It's that real self-knowing and the shamanic subconscious pathways as well. So when the full moon in Sagittarius opposite the sun in Gemini, we have chance to bypass the chattering mind and get deep into the subconscious realms and actually explore the depths. So it's a little bit of a trip, and 5:26 a.m. in the UK, chances are most people slept through it but may have had some expansive dreamtime awakenings going on during that moment. We're moving on into the week now, and it's a real mixed week. We've got a lot of planets on the move. We had some big aspects last week which really shook things up with the Pluto-Uranus square as well as that eclipse, and now we're starting to see some of the dust settle from that. On Monday we have Jupiter meeting Mercury in Gemini. Whatever Jupiter does, it's big, and it does tend to clear things out of the way first rather than just bring in more into a full space. So when Jupiter meets Mercury in Gemini, which is the mind, and Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, then we are looking to see expansive thoughts, an expansion of our mind, more of those prison bars of the mental matrix being torn down so that we can actually breathe, fly free, think freely and expand our minds. So Monday is an exceptional day to think big, to challenge any negative or restrictive thinking, and to see where your bigger thoughts want to take you. So it's a really profound, rare opportunity to get in contact with that part of yourself and see where you're limiting yourself really, and what would you be if you were unlimited, thinking along those lines. The very next day Jupiter moves on and meets Venus in the same sign of Gemini. And Venus is all to do with what we value, our love and nurture, and how we must give that to ourselves first before expecting it from other people. So you can literally fall in love with yourself on Tuesday, re-evaluate your values, what you value, what supports you and what doesn't, as Jupiter will clear away anything that's no longer serving, no longer sustaining, and show you where you can be self-supporting and self-nurturing. So there's a real love aspect on Tuesday the 27th. Then a couple of days of rest, although nothing's really ever that restful. There's always something going on, but we only have time here to consider the major aspects. So by the time we get to Friday the 31st, we're looking at Mars changing sign and going into Gemini. Now Mars takes 2 years to go around the zodiac, so it's not that often an aspect to have Mars move into Gemini. And this is going to be warrior class, because Mars shows us where we take our soul energy and where we direct it in life. It's the graceful warrior, the spiritual warrior. So again with the Gemini, it's going to be very fleet of foot, very quick-witted, but there's an incendiary aspect to this, so there could be some flare-ups, there could be some impulsive actions as Mars goes tearing in, and Gemini's lives almost in a stream of consciousness. So we do need to make sure that those actions do have purpose and they're coming from the deepest possible place. So think before you act and set some intentions there, because Mars in Gemini for a good few weeks, normally around 8 weeks, will really help clear our minds, who we are, what we want, where we're heading, and it's a very powerful intention setting one there. So that's really good stuff on Friday for action stations. And then on Saturday we have Mercury leaving Gemini now, so just as Mars goes in one door, Mercury's coming out the other into the emotional sign of Cancer. So Mercury spent the last few weeks in Gemini. That's home for Mercury, quick thinking, communicative, whizzing around, like I say, that stream of consciousness of the thinking mind. And now it's almost like plunging into a different element as we go into Cancer. So it's very emotional, it's very empathic. Whenever I find Mercury in a water sign, it means that we are more psychic, we're cellularly feeling the truth rather than having to process everything through the over-dominant organ of the brain. So look to your sacral area, look to what's the feeling in your waters, look to your intuition as Mercury makes his transit for about 4 weeks. through Cancer, or it would be 4 weeks normally, but we're actually heading to a Mercury retrograde late next month. So I'll be talking about that in the monthly video for Cancer, and in next week's or the week after's weekly video. But just know that we're heading into the deep waters of Cancer to start feeling our way, but at some point in the end of June there'll be a retrograde. So if things start to make less sense, then you know that you need to trust your intuition and not rational logic. So this should be a fairly easy one to navigate for all the intuitives amongst us. So those are the main aspects for this week, and I'll see you next week.